We have alternatives to the F-35.
President Donald Trump's 25% tariff on Canadian goods sparked tensions between Washington and Ottawa, further intensified by a 10% tax on Canadian energy.
25% on Canada and 25% on Mexico, and that'll start
amid a heated political clash with Washington over tariffs and the U.S. president's threats to annex Canada as the 51st state.
So I think Canada is going to be a very serious contender to be our 51st state.
Ottawa is reassessing its ties with the United States, including a $13.29 billion fighter jet contract. You read that correctly. Canada is leveraging the F-35 deal to send a strong message to the U.S. In 2023, Canada ordered 88 F-35, fifth-generation fighter jets, with the first 16 set to arrive next year. Amid fears that Donald Trump might restrict access to critical software updates and hardware parts needed for combat readiness, Canada is contemplating canceling the remaining jet purchases. Which fighter jets could Canada procure to replace the U.S. F-35s? Will Ottawa forge new agreements and alliances to acquire alternative jets? What is the current condition of Canada's aircraft fleet, and how many jets would need to be purchased to replace the F-35s in the Canadian Air Force? Canada's decision is under close scrutiny by Europe, with the United Kingdom extending an offer regarding fighter jets. The UK has signaled its willingness to include Canada in the 6th Generation Global Combat Air Program, GCAP, hinting at Canada potentially opting for UK jets over US F-35s. So how could Canada acquire fighter jets from the UK if it abandons the F-35s? First, Canada would need to engage with GCAP, a trilateral initiative involving the UK, Japan, and Italy to develop and deliver next-generation fighter jets. UK Defence Minister Maria Eagle noted that Canada is not currently a GCAP partner, but the UK, Japan, and Italy are open to collaborating with other nations to meet the program's timeline and enhance future military capabilities. A report cited by the minister suggests Canada could be a fitting future partner due to its Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance membership and robust security ties with the UK. Although Maria Eagle did not confirm a formal offer, her remarks followed shortly after these developments. Following Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney's visits to France and the UK amid strained relations with Washington, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who hosted Carney, commented on the matter. Starmer would likely welcome Canada's participation in acquiring 6th-generation GCAP fighter jets if negotiations proceed smoothly. But what other options does Canada have? Currently, 3 6th-generation aircraft programs exist in the West. The US F-47, the GCAP, developed by the UK, Japan, and Italy, and the Future Combat Air System, developed by France, Germany, and Spain. Given the Carney government's interest in European alternatives to fulfill Canada's fighter jet needs, the GCAP's proximity to Canada has already been noted. Beyond GCAP, other options are clear, as Europe currently lacks 5th-generation fighters. Instead, 3 4.5-generation fighters are available. The Rafale, the Eurofighter Typhoon, and the Gripen EF. Canada has not yet specified its preferred aircraft, but if Ottawa cancels its F-35 order, joining a 6th-generation program like GCAP could be appealing. Canada's direction will become clearer over time, potentially leading to Ottawa's entry into GCAP, though any new participant would require approval from the UK, Japan, and Italy. Previously, speculation about Saudi Arabia joining GCAP surfaced, but reports suggest Japan rejected the proposal. Canada's potential inclusion in the GCAP is likely to gain approval from its existing members. Formed in 2022 by the UK, Japan, and Italy, the GCAP alliance pools their expertise and resources to develop a cutting-edge 6th-generation fighter jet. The group has set an ambitious timeline, targeting the aircraft's first flight in 2027 and operational deployment by 2035. Progress is underway. At the Farnborough International Air Show in July last year, the 3 GCAP nations revealed a new concept model featuring a wider wingspan to enhance aerodynamics. According to the partners, this aircraft will rank among the world's most advanced, versatile, and interoperable fighters, boasting a software-driven interactive cockpit, integrated sensor array, intelligent weapon system, and next-generation radar for enhanced data collection and situational awareness. The GCAP aims to secure an export-driven edge in the sixth-generation fighter market, a goal made more achievable as the rival FCAS program lags and U.S. export restrictions under Trump complicate matters. The program seeks to replace the Eurofighter Typhoon used by the Italian Air Force and Royal Air Force, as well as the Mitsubishi F-2 of the Japan Air Self-Defense Force. With U.S. pressure on Canada and the ongoing advancements by the UK, Japan, and Italy in sixth-generation technology, GCAP is poised to gain increasing attention in the near future. If Canada joins the GCAP, how many sixth-generation fighter jets would it need to procure from the UK to replace the F-35S? To answer this, we must examine the Royal Canadian Air Force RCAF fleet. The RCAF, with around 260 aircraft and over 12,000 active duty personnel, is tasked with safeguarding Canadian airspace and supporting North American and Allied defense. The RCAF has contributed to numerous conflicts and maintains a modern fleet, including transport and surveillance aircraft, but no bombers. Its combat capabilities rely on 89 fighter jets, all variants of the F-A-18 family. While the U.S. reserves F/A-18S for Navy carrier squadrons and Marine Corps strike missions, the F-A-18 has been a cornerstone of the RCAF. Canada commissioned a customized version, the CF-18, from McDonnell Douglas after an extensive search by the Department of National Defense to identify a multi-role fighter suited to the RCAF's diverse requirements. The Canadian fighter fleet is slated for modernization in the coming years. The CF-18, first produced by McDonnell Douglas in 1982, saw over 130 units built by 1988, comprising the single-seat CF-18A fighter and the two-seat CF-18B for pilot training. The Canadian Air Force also acquired 25 ex-Royal Australian Air Force FA-18 Hornets, including 12 F/A-18A and 6 F/A-18B jets, with 7 additional units available per Australian Aviation. Compared to other NATO fighter squadrons, the RCAF's F/A-18S were outdated, prompting Ottawa to modernize its fleet. In January 2023, Canada ordered 88 Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II jets, the latest U.S. Air Force fighter. Replacing the F-35S and other fleet components will be a lengthy process, but with the F-35 as Ottawa's priority, the RCAF would likely need over 80 jets to replace them if Canada exits the F-35 deal entirely. Sourcing alternatives over time would significantly impact Lockheed Martin, and F-35 reliability would face renewed scrutiny. Other nations share Canada's concerns about the F-35, particularly regarding a rumored kill switch. German authorities and Hensoldt's communications head, Joachim Schranshofer, suggest this kill switch is real, enabling the U.S. to disable the jets by restricting access to critical software. Wolfgang Ischinger, former Munich Security Conference president, and Ingo Gerhardt, a former military official and German Christian Democratic Union member, concurred that the F-35's export value is likely to plummet due to these concerns. Germany's order of 35 F-35S, which sparked significant debate over the alleged kill switch, is now in doubt. In 2022, Germany signed an $8.4 billion deal with Lockheed Martin for 35 F-35A Lightning II jets, with 8 purchased last year. However, whether Germany will continue with future F-35 purchases remains uncertain. The first F-35 is slated for delivery to the German Bundeswehr in the U.S. in 2026, with the rest arriving for the Luftwaffe in Germany by 2027, and training set to begin in the US in 2026 or 2027. Berlin may consider canceling the deal and keeping the F-35S in the US if a viable alternative is found. Such a move could strain military air power ties between Washington and Berlin. Germany's new Chancellor Friedrich Merz supports this shift, advocating for complete independence from the US, likely in response to recent provocative actions and statements from the Trump administration that unsettled German political leaders. Now, if you like this video, check out this next video right here.